Well, okay, this is called TikTok.
Good job. And today we've got some brand high five. Spankin' new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, revealing official information. And so,
Let's get started.
do you want to say bye to everyone?
Bye, everyone.
Now, if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. But first things first, guys, what's been going on this week in Destiny 2? Well, mainly, right around the Tuesday weekly reset, Bungie has made some significant changes to the Call to Arms event, which is currently ongoing, making it easier than ever to get those top 10% and top 1% scores, and therefore, hopefully, earn that awesome looking helmet ornament. In fact, we're going to go over this in a sec, but they're not really top 10, top 1% anymore, all right? So here's all the things that changed. So, on the official Destiny 2 team Twitter account, they said, "Thanks for the continued feedback on our first Call to Arms event. We've deployed a live update that introduces the following changes." So all of these things are in the game right now. First of all, tuned scoring so that the lower power you are, the more of a boost you will get to your Call to Arms score to offset the score impact of power. Guys, this is huge. The biggest complaint when Call to Arms first came out is that you had to be max power to get those top percent scores. Not anymore. I've seen people in like the 300 powers posting top scores. So if you've been like ignoring that portion of this event because of your power, it's definitely time to hop on and try to post a top score. They also said, "We expect this to mitigate most but not all of the advantage that power currently conveys. This should broaden the competition by alleviating players who can quickly complete activities with difficult modifiers while still giving high power players an edge. For example, with the right activity modifiers, a 300 power player playing on master difficulty could earn what is comparable to a top 30% score today, and a 400 power player playing on Grandmaster difficulty could earn what is comparable to a top 10% score today." Now, it's not perfect, but again, remember, if you weren't literally max level, you had no chance of getting a top score, right? So this is a heck of a lot better. Now, moving on from there, they say, "Note, for players under 550 power, be aware that your Call to Arms score will not exactly match your Portal Reward score." But then, they changed boons to add 0 red triangles. Players will be able to choose any boon without impacting their overall score. So you can see this in-game right now, guys. All of those modifiers, like a great example is Brawler, where if you're running an activity with a melee build with Brawler, you are cooking. Those will not negatively impact your score. So you can put on Brawler, you can put on Grenadier, you can put on a bunch of Surge mods, right? Like, if you did your placement scores earlier in the week before this change, and maybe you only got top 30%, you were close or whatever, dude, run it again with these positive modifiers that don't hurt your score, and again, it's going to be a much easier run with those on. Now, they also say, changed all gear player stakes to add 5 green triangles in Call to Arms activities, matching the all bows one. So basically you can have like all bows, there was like, you know, explosives, there's like the Western guns one, all that stuff, but all bows was giving more points than all the other ones, so now all of them give the same as all bows, so you don't have to run all bows basically. And lastly, they said, removed the protected modifier, those pesky drones, super annoying, from the Call to Arms activities. The score from that modifier has been added to the close danger trade-off modifier. So you can see that in game. There's no longer 2 Call to Arms modifiers. It's just the one, and it's getting like Omega score now. So that was the first change they did, guys. And already that is some significant improvements. But then later on, they tweeted the following. So they said, "Based on your feedback, we've deployed the following changes to the event. So score thresholds for all activities have been adjusted, numbers abbreviated for readability. So, salt mines, top 1% is 3.371 million. Top 10%, 2.405 million. Now, the rest, guys, they've altered as well. I'm not going to read every single one off, but the point is that what was happening was that the people at literally max power were getting like less than normal, less than they should. And so to kind of help for this, they simply put out these brackets of like, here is now the new score threshold. And then later down, you can see to prevent further impact on power changes, the Call to Arms score thresholds have now been locked. So what this really is, guys, is that it's not top 1% anymore. It's probably like top 3%, maybe even more, because again, they lowered the threshold to get into top 1% and then they locked them. So as more people get into that top 1%, you shouldn't be pushed out, right? So does that, kind of negatively impact the competitiveness? People who really wanted that actual top 1%, top 1%, now you're top 5%. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably not actually 1% anymore. But again, this goes into what I was saying earlier. It is significantly easier to get in that top 10%, top 1% bracket, and therefore actually grab that helmet. They also say score thresholds below 10% have also been adjusted to further open eligibility, for the shader and transmat rewards. The PvE changes are designed to protect the challenge of claiming the event's top emblem reward, but we also feel it's necessary to address the 550 power players that have been adversely affected by lower score bugs introduced. And the PvP change is designed to address the several reports we've been seeing of players coming in just a few points short after completing very high scoring games. We want to open this pool slightly to encompass these players. And there you go. They also say we're planning to deploy a live update where just a bunch of random changes, decrease the cost of tier 1 revive tokens at Riven and stuff like that aren't really going to matter too much. But yeah, guys, so if you have been ignoring Call to Arms, Bungie has made some like significant improvements and pretty quickly, like they've been doing like quite a lot of these live updates that have made things a lot easier. So definitely that helmet, certainly, maybe not the actual like the top emblem, but that helmet is more in reach than ever before. But moving on from there, let's get into the brand new information within the TWID, guys. And the first thing, the big thing, is that on Tuesday, November 25th, so this upcoming Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is an hour after reset over at Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok, actually, they're going to be having a developer live stream where we'll be debuting the Destiny 2 Renegades launch trailer and our second Renegades Vidoc, covering blasters, new exotic gear, and much more. Then we'll plot a course to Tharsis Outpost with our dev team at the helm, leading a deep dive gameplay preview of the new Lawless Frontier activity, guys. So that should be an exciting one, like learning more about the blasters, exotics, and a whole Vidoc being released, the launch trailer. A lot of stuff going to be happening that day for sure. Now, they also say, what's the bounty for this adventure? Well, if you are watching on Twitch for 15 minutes, guys, then you're going to be getting this exclusive emblem as long as your Bungie account is linked to your Twitch account. Moving on from there, guys, they then talk about the dungeon zone returns for Equilibrium. So Equilibrium is the new dungeon. It is going to be launching on December 13th, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific. Sorry, that's when the dungeon zone launches. The actual dungeon race will launch at reset on December 13th. So looking at the calendar here, Renegades comes out December 2nd, and then December 13th is the second Saturday after that. So you're going to have a whole week until reset and then a bit until Saturday before the dungeon comes out, guys. And there's going to be a pre-show with Bungie developers and all that stuff. And for the dungeon race rules, I believe I've already covered this in a separate TWAB video, but you can see right here, the main thing is that like you will have to have someone from the team streaming on YouTube, Twitch, or Bilibili, and you can literally just like they're talking about like creating an account and just streaming to the void. Just have VODs turned on. You don't have to have a face cam. You don't have to do like anything special. Just kind of to verify that it was a legit run. Obviously, you know, it completely does get rid of cheaters because you can go to someone's VOD and say, hey bro, why are you shooting your Xenophage at 900 RPM? You know what I mean? Like, something's a little sus here. So that does solve that. However, of course, a lot of people are annoyed about that. Like, you know, especially if you're maybe not expecting to come in first, like just something randomly happens, you have the run of your lives and you get into first place and you weren't streaming, you're going to be disqualified. But regardless, those are the rules. Moving on from there, they say Renegades armor tuning preview. So Bungie just mentions that yesterday they released a huge article detailing all of the different exotics getting buffed or nerfed in the upcoming Renegades expansion, except for there was no nerfs. It was literally all buffs. Guys, I did a full breakdown in this video linked right up above. Definitely check that out. Warlocks are eating good, dude. They literally made the Matadoxia exotic chest the equivalent of the Thunder Crash for Warlocks, where your Needle Storm will do like Thunder Crash damage. Thunder Crash plus Kuros damage, I should say, which is crazy. It's like, so like every DPS phase, what is just going to be Warlocks? I mean, everyone's talking about it on Twitter, so definitely one to check out. Now, after that, they also released a Renegades content calendar. So this was kind of a big thing as well, talking about a lot of the changes coming to the game. Some highlights from that: vault space is increasing by 300, and there's a whole new like vault sorting system. So you can sort by like armor, and like sort by tiered, filter by whatever. Like you have like a lot more options when it comes to sorting, which is really nice as well. Use universal exotic ornaments. So if you have an exotic, like you don't like the look of the Dawn Chorus for the Warlock, you can change it to any other exotic helmet ornament that you have. So fashion people are freaking out about that one. Again, did a full video covering everything they talked about. That's linked right up above. And then moving on from there, really the last thing they talk about is that Black Friday is almost here, and they just say stay tuned to the Bungie store socials, because there's going to be, I guess, some upcoming Black Friday sale, which is probably going to have an exclusive emblem, which is the image they're kind of showing right here, guys. So that is going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.